See, Mike Tyson could have knocked him out there. Jake Paul's chin was wide open, but then Mike Tyson realised, just as he was about to throw that punch, that, oh no, I'm getting paid lots of money, I can't knock him out. So ridiculous, mate. This video has been sent to me so many times. It's went viral. People saying that Mike Tyson could have knocked him out. See, it was a scam. It was a script.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are facing scrutiny and backlash after their recent boxing match. Fans and critics have accused the fight of being scripted, citing suspicious in-ring dynamics such as Tyson reportedly avoiding his signature uppercuts due to contractual restrictions.
Focus on that first one. Mike Tyson, successful. That's a really interesting choice because it is a choice. And if you look at 90% of fights out there and you ask the person what's going to happen, they speak about what they're going to do physically. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to give him a beating. I'm going to win. Something about their capacity physically. But this is Mike Tyson successful. And if you really think about that, if you look at this fight and look at the outcome, I would say since one half left with $40 million and the other half, the sum that's being talked about is $20 million, yeah, I would say that's pretty successful. Basically what I'm saying is that the adjective successful doesn't necessarily speak to the result of the fight. It doesn't necessarily speak to his capacity.
Jake Paul's post-fight comments admitting he held back out of respect for the 58-year-old Tyson further fueled.
Question.
Yeah.
Does anyone here think that it was rigged? I saw so much discourse. I don't know anything about like fighting.
Question. I think rigged. I wouldn't go as far as to say rigged. However, I think that they had a gentleman's agreement to go easy.
Yeah.
Because he's an old man and easily could have died if Jake Paul had punched him hard enough in the face. Very real chance of that happening. And that's why, I mean, if you watch it, it looks like they're sparring. It looks like they're kind of like having a light. So,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was, like, Mike has his one move he's known for, and, like, he gets in the pocket, goes low and gets in, and he did that and had a clear opening on Jake, and Jake went like this, and Mike just didn't hit him, and that's the video I'm seeing everywhere, but I remember in the
Show
moment,
me that. Pull that. We'll probably watch it if it's short.
But yeah, I agree, Dan. I think it's more of just, like, they agreed to...
It's a show fight.
It's a
This
show
is kind
fight.
of what they do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when Mayweather
wrestling.
fought Logan. It was, like, obvious. But yeah, I mean, listen, Mike Tyson's old as fuck, and I think you're right. They decided because I don't think Mike was ever going to hurt Jake, probably.
Allegations of a fixed outcome legal expert suggest these claims could lead to lawsuits from bettors or viewers who feel misled. Really, Mike Tyson appeared uncharacteristically subdued in the lead up to the fight with Jake Paul. His demeanor during pre-fight conferences lacked the passion and confidence.
He's insanely athletic, so I mean, certainly he has more of a chance than Mike Tyson, but he's also not a boxer like everybody else that he
Jake
fights.
has a ton of experience.
And ice
boxing
speed,
now.
height. Let's see, he's 5'9". So yeah, I mean,
That's
Jake should fight somebody
Jake's like
his own
6'1".
size, his own age, just enough. Who knows how to box?
I want to see him do MMA with Conor McGregor. I've seen that thrown around
He
too.
would never agree to that.
I think he's been wanting. I think he's challenged him.
No shot he would do that.
I don't
There's
know.
no
Does Jake
shot.
even
That'd
do
be fucking
MMA?
awesome.
Like, that's a whole different
I
skill
would
set.
watch that.
That's what I'm saying. It's sick.
If it's real MMA,
Yeah.
how
Maybe
would
it's maybe he's wanting to do boxing with Conor, which
Yeah.
in that case it's lame.
Typically associated with a boxer of his stature, observers noted that he did not display the fierce energy and determination that had defined his career, raising questions about his commitment to the bouted some experts believe.
Everyone is talking about how staged this fight was. I do believe it was scripted. And I believe that Tyson was certainly held back. Look, I'm a fighter and I can see it. It goes on the record and it was sanctioned. So Jake Paul paid to get the W on his record? For what? For your own personal satisfaction? I keep telling you, if you want to be a real fighter, like you say you want to be, what are you doing?
Shit, I don't even know.
Like, who's next? Joe Biden? You have to fight real fighters.
God, please, no!
However, the fight drew 65 million households. 100 million eyeballs were watching. And the huge winners were Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, who put on an incredible real fight and were introduced to new fans around the world. Boxing has been in hibernation. It's like a sleeping bear. Boxing has been the most popular sport since the beginning of time.
The fight may not have been entirely rigged, but suspect there were pre-arranged agreements to tilt conditions in Jake Paul's favor. These speculations stem from Tyson's restrained performance, which seemed to prioritize showcasing Jake rather than offering genuine competition. Boxer closer to his AG and skill level.
I think the whole thing was scripted. The whole thing was just a money grab. And for a lot of us that love Mike, and despite what he said in that interview with the girl about the legacy, we love him and his legacy. And we didn't like what we saw last night. What we saw last night seemed like something that very much tarnished his legacy for a little bit of bread, you know? And somebody will say, oh, 20 million, that's not a little bit of money. Well, you know, I was talking to my man Isaiah Washington earlier, and he was breaking it down as far as like, nigga, you know the government takes half, you know what I mean? Then you gotta give your handlers or whatever 20%, da-da-da. You might graciously walk away with 5. You know what I mean? You might get 5 out of that 20. You see what I'm saying? So is $5 million, I mean, and that's nothing to sneeze at. I'd love to be paid $5 million for something. But is that worth tarnishing your legacy? Someone like Mike Tyson, you know? I think a lot of us would say no, you know? Yeah, I think it was just a disappointing performance.
They emphasized that a true test for Jake would involve competing against someone with real experience and hunger, rather than an aging legend like Tyson. Theories have emerged suggesting that Mike Tyson intentionally held back during the fight.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing glove throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his glove to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. You who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough proof that this fight is scripted.
These theories propose that Tyson avoided delivering significant punches, as he never truly landed a hard shot on Jake Paul. Such behavior has fueled claims that the fight was scripted for entertainment rather than competition. Boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya
just asked everybody walking out if they thought the fight was rigged, and I think you know their answers. Check them out.
What about y'all? Was it rigged tonight? Was it a legit?
Rigged. Rigor mortis.
Hey,
Rigor mortis.
It was scripted. It's all good though.
I thought, yeah, it was rigged. Tyson.
I feel like it was rigged, but if I was in there, I would have won.
It was rigged.
Dog shit, brother. I'm telling you, this was honestly more interesting paint dry. More interesting paint.
You come from Australia for this dog shit.
So you think it was rigged?
You damn right.
Tell them Mount.
I did not like the fight. The fight was lame. I wasted my money. They really did it for the money, but I don't want to say Mike wasn't even trying, bro.
Jake publicly stated that he believes the fight was scripted. As a seasoned boxer, he claimed he could identify telltale signs of a pre-planned match, dismissing it as a money grab operation. Lord Jamar criticized the fight as a staged event, designed
in the fight against you that you saw versus Paul.
The first thing was the immediate thing that I made note of on the telecast was his legs didn't look the same as when he fought me. You know, and that's not saying nothing bad. I don't know if he ever had a knee. He may have had a knee injury. I'm not sure. And I wasn't saying nothing bad about that. I just said that his legs didn't look the same. Sometimes 4 years could have taken a toll on him, or he could have had an injury. We don't know. Like Mike said, he went through so much stuff, he almost died. So anything could have happened. We don't know. But I can promise you that his legs were not the same. Hence, he was not able to attack as freely and as often as he attacked me. He attacked me pretty much all night long. So, but because of either the injury or whatever was going on with his legs, something was not right with his legs, you know. And like I said, I hear my commentating partner, I hear what he's saying, but even if you look back at old Mike Tyson fights, I see him with his hands here all the time, but I never seen him biting the thumb of his glove. This time he biting the thumb of his glove. I never seen Mike do that. Even when I fought him, he never did that. So it's like I hear them, but nah, something was going on with Mike.
Something's wrong with his knee.
Yeah, either he was frustrated that he couldn't do what he wanted to do because of his legs, or something. I don't know 100% what it was, but it definitely was something.
Purely for financial gain, claiming that it tarnished Mike Tyson's legacy. Expressed disappointment that Tyson would risk his reputation for a $20 million payout, which he felt was insufficient for such a trade-off. He expressed
Mike Tyson, Jake Paul was scripted. That was a scripted fight. It was blatantly obvious. Go watch Mike train. And John Jones is an absolute problem. The scariest man on the planet.
Okay, so hold on. I want to talk about the Tyson thing for a second. So you're saying that it was scripted because Tyson trained really hard, but then was like throwing the fight in the ring?
The way Tyson trained, the way he looked, the way he moved.
Training it and fighting, though. Training it and fighting. I can get on board. I don't want to use the term scripted. Here's what my takeaway was after watching the fight, and it reminded me a little bit of Mayweather-Pacquiao from a few years ago when we didn't get them in their prime, scheduled that fight when Pacquiao was older, and I'm sitting there watching it like, why aren't they throwing at each other? Why isn't Pacquiao throwing punches? It's because you saw two guys who were older who wanted to get a payday, which is why I've always said, let's let the winner get the lion's share, and then you'll see guys actually fight. What it looked like to me was Tyson was old. Like, Tyson actually looked his age, and I think you had two guys go in there and say, look, if Jake Paul knocks out Mike Tyson, which I think that he could do, he could knock him out, it's going to be very bad for his legacy. We don't want to have that happen. Let's go the distance in this fight and let's everybody get paid. And Tyson on the flip side of that wasn't able to knock out Jake Paul.
Okay, that feels scripted to me.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying I don't necessarily think you're wrong with that saying, but I don't think it was from the Tyson side not going in and fighting as hard.
Disappointment that Tyson would risk his reputation for a $20 million payout, which he felt was insufficient for such a trade-off. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time,